Hey Lee, come here. Why don't you take a seat?
Okay. What's up, f***ers?
Hello and welcome to Too Ugly for Radio, the podcast that kidnaps its co-hosts. My name is Craig, and welcome to a very special episode where today we'll be discussing the new Transformers film, Bumblebee. And in order to take this podcast to the next level, I have scoured the country for the person who knows the most about Transformers that I can think of. I've travelled halfway across the country to meet up with Lee.
How you doing, folks?
How are you, Lee?
I'm doing quite well, thank you, Craig.
Now, some of you may remember Lee. He's actually technically been on the podcast before. If you cast your mind back to Transformers moments that keep me up at night, Lee was the letter of the week, where I accused him of being an idiot and not understanding the whole point of the podcast.
Really appreciate that, Craig.
Yeah. So, we've just gone and seen the new Bumblebee movie. What are your immediate thoughts?
Well, my immediate thoughts, Craig, that it has...
Craig, sorry, I didn't realise we just met.
Yeah. What of it?
Sorry, go on.
Well, before you interrupted me, I was going to say that this film alone has far more character than the previous 5 Michael Bay films.
Yeah, totally. I did notice, like, it's a huge improvement over the others, but it did fall into 2 of the traps that the Michael Bay ones did. The first one was introducing us to the protagonist's annoying family that we don't care about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't care that her brother does kung fu and that she's got a cringy stepdad and an overworked mum. No one cares.
No one cares at all. But it could be worse. They could be talking about the Romeo and Juliet law.
Yeah, that's true. Kind of, like, at least with Shia LaBeouf's family, you got to have awkward moments where they're talking about him masturbating. I missed that. I thought those were good parts in the last film.
Also, the dog was not having sexual intercourse with another dog in this film.
That is true. I did enjoy that. Alright, like, time for my least favourite part of the podcast. The part where we try to remember the plot of the film.
Radio. We'll give it a go.
So the film opens up on Cybertron, which is the best scene in the whole film.
This entire sequence was amazing. Like, it gave me a big G1 boner, and I haven't even watched all of G1.
Oh, it's just... yeah. Like, I don't think there's words to describe it. It was pure epicness. Optimus Prime kicking ass.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone looking the way they should be. And not a single robot peeing on anyone inside.
Long-time fans will have a lot of fun seeing a lot of faces that surprised me, actually. Like, I won't spoil any of the unknown faces. For
go for it. Spoil it. Like, if you're listening to a review of a film, and you're like, oh no, there was spoilers. Of course there's fucking spoilers!
Jesus Christ, what are you doing?
What do you think a review is?
We came here to discuss the film. If you don't want to know about the film, go watch fucking anime. Dick.
Don't watch anime. Talking for Radio does not endorse the watching of anime.
We do not condone the watching of anime on the show. No, but a lot of surprise faces, like not even midway through the film. Another scene that doesn't take place on Cybertron, Cliffjumper. He was a character that surprised me.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to see him, and then I wasn't expecting him to get murdered straight away.
Yeah, poor Cliffjumper. That's the second time he's been cut in half.
Right? I was just like, wow, cool, they introduced Cliffjumper. Like, they've made so many toys of Cliffjumper that just repaints of Bumblebee, and now they finally introduced him into the films.
As a repaint of Bumblebee.
And I'm like, but that's fine, he can develop. No, he can't, he's dead.
Shit.
So yeah, there's like 5 minutes of just epicness set on Cybertron during this civil war. Lee turns to me and goes, this is already the best Transformers film.
Indeed, indeed.
I don't know if I go as far to say the best, but it's in my top 3. Unpopular opinion, my favourite Transformers film is the second one.
Very unpopular opinion for many reasons.
Yeah.
Like, previously, my one was the very first film, because that kind of, I don't want to say set the standards.
But it did set the standard.
Like, visually, it set the standards. But in terms of storytelling, this one is leagues ahead.
God, yes. Like, the characters are three-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually characters. They're not just stereotypes. So yeah, we jump from the war on Cybertron
Mm-hmm.
to
1987 Earth.
yes,
Yes. Where the agents of Sector 7 are having a training exercise.
that's right. That's a cool nod to the first films, having Sector 7 involved.
Yeah. And further into the film, sorry to jump ahead again, but it kind of leans into the idea of these agents working with the Transformers to build up their technology, so to speak. Because that was hinted towards in the first film in the Hoover Dam sequence. Like they had the 7 founding fathers.
What I found weird, now that we've already jumped ahead to like midway of the film, we'll jump back, don't worry.
Yeah.
We eventually do. There's a scene where the evil robots, Dropkick and
Shatter,
thank you, have struck up a deal with this government. They're like, we need your satellites to help track down Bumblebee. Keep in mind this is 1980 whatever.
87. We'll
And-
say it's 87. I'm probably wrong.
And they combine phone lines with satellites, and then they're like, they've invented some sort of web, an information web. When was the internet invented?
Apparently in 1987 by a couple of alien
I
robots.
feel like we should know when the internet was invented. That's an important step in human history.
Yet they never taught us in school.
They never taught us how to do taxes either.
Lazy bastards.
Yeah. But, so yeah, you've got these two robots flawlessly combining satellite and phone and computers. And then a couple of scenes later, you've got Bumblebee perplexed by, like, the coffee maker in the kitchen. So that was good.
Very good.
But
And
just the film opens with the new protagonist, not Carly Rae Jepsen.
what?
I keep thinking she's Carly Rae Jepsen.
She is not Carly Rae Jepsen. That is Haley Steinfeld, my good man.
They're both singers.
I mean, yeah, but one's far better.
Ooh.
Yeah, I said it.
You calling them out?
Yeah, I'm calling them out. Haley Steinfeld for the win.
Make sure to @Lee on Facebook.
I mean, come on. What is the last thing Carly Rae Jepsen put out that was significant?
Oh, okay. How about the music video with Tom Hanks? I really, 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 really like you.
How many years ago was that, Craig?
Doesn't matter. It's in my heart forever.
How many years ago was it, Craig?
I don't know. Just like I don't know when the internet came out.
All right, let's roll it back to Transformers.
Yes. So Haley Steinfeld wakes up. Her life is basically the sitcom The Middle.
Oh my God, you're right.
She's got a kooky stepdad and a kooky brother and a hard-working mum. She's the only one who's not kooky. It's weird. Her real dad's dead. It's sad.
Had a heart attack.
And so she's become a mechanic because that's what her and her dad did. And so she spends all the time working on Dad's car, only to say, fuck it.
I'm gonna buy a
I'm
Beetle.
just gonna go buy a Beetle off some old guy from a junkyard. Uncle Hank, who I don't think she's actually related to.
Do you think she just walked into the junkyard? It's like, hi, I'm Charlie. She's like, you can call me Uncle Hank.
I liked the black guy working on the truck.
He's like, hey, kid, hand me the wrench.
So yeah, she just brings home a car. She's like, oh, by the way, Mum, I have a car now. Oh yeah, speaking of jumping back and forth,
Yes.
I'll be surprised if anyone's still listening past this point.
I'm offended.
The army guys is led by the film's new leading man, John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
Thank fuck they got rid of Mark Wahlberg.
What are you saying?
Like, I had very low hopes for John Cena. I've seen Trainwreck, and he was the best part of that film.
I saw John Cena's butt in that film.
Not hard in a film about Amy Schumer. But at the same time, I was like, he can't be a leading man. But of course, he wiped the floor of Mark Wahlberg and Shia LaBeouf. So I'd be happy to see John Cena in a sequel.
I think they had a lot of like well-versed actors in previous films, but they were just given real shit roles and poor direction.
You mean Anthony Hopkins? He's just
Hey, Anthony Hopkins is a national treasure, even though he's not from New Zealand.
What about Anthony Hopkins' retirement home for transformatory friends? You want to know why they're here, don't you, dude?
Beautiful.
That's Sir Anthony Hopkins in a Michael Bay film.
About transforming robots from outer space.
I wish that the transforming robots from outer space was the least ridiculous part about that film.
Oh well. Back to John Cena. He was far stronger than pretty much every male lead in previous films.
Yep. I'm trying to remember where we're up to in the plot.
We're in the forest. They're in the training session, and Bumblebee, who has escaped from Cybertron,
That's right.
he's crashed down in the forest, and they're like...
Bumblebee plummets from the heavens and just fucking napalms this innocent squad of soldiers in a training exercise.
And of course they instantly assume it's Russia.
Well, yeah. And I mean, fair enough. Like, if something's falling out of the sky and burning a troop of soldiers, you'd assume enemy attack.
Yeah.
Bumblebee doesn't apologise, which is a dick move.
I mean, no, he could still talk. I was going to say he couldn't talk, but at this point in the film, he can still talk.
Yeah. That's right. And so then they start attacking Bumblebee. Bumblebee runs for it. And just when you think he's gotten away, he hasn't. He gets surrounded by the army again. But then shit gets realer, because then an F-15 comes flying over the horizon. An F-15 that looks exactly like Starscream. And I said to Lee, there's no way that's not Starscream. Like, all these other Transformers, their designs have been lifted straight from the cartoon. That's Starscream. He got killed within like 5 minutes.
I think the most offensive thing about that was his name was Blitzwing. It wasn't an actual Seeker. It wasn't Thundercracker or Skywarp
Oh god, I hadn't even thought of
or
that.
Acid Storm. Any of those would have done. But no, they went for the guy who was a triple changer. And he did no triple changing. And he looked nothing like the G1 self when everybody else did.
How did such a bad mistake get put in amongst all these other really good ones?
I have no idea, Craig.
Yeah. So yeah, he gets killed within 5 minutes, and I lean over to Leon and go, guess that's not Starscream then. But that was an awesome fight as well.
It was a great fight, yeah. You could
Yeah.
actually see what was happening.
And it just looked so cool. That is my professional opinion as someone with a Bachelor of Arts in Film Studies. It looked so cool.
Good to know that student loan went somewhere useful.
Tens of thousands of dollars
Taxpayers'
translates
money.
into taxpayers' money. F*** that, my money.
It's not yours.
Mum and Dad's money. Nah, I'm the one slowly paying it off. It's coming out of all my paychecks.
It's going to happen for the next 50 years.
Let's have a minute of silence for my shattered dreams. Don't play the last post.
It felt appropriate. I
Why is it
apologise.
appropriate? Blitzwing dies. What happens next?
We cut back to Charlie. We've gone past this already, where she's fixing the Corvette. It's not working out.
So she cries about it.
Yep. She runs back to the junkyard. It's like, I want the Beetle, and the old Uncle Hank. It's yours, kid. Happy birthday.
Well, no, first he like haggles with her, and he's like, it.
Yeah.
You can have it, I guess. Because it's your birthday, I'll give you a car.
And as she's driving away with it, because she does eventually fix it, he leans over to his workmate and says, "That's a death trap."
But at least she's happy. Literally quote from him, that thing's a death trap, but at least she's happy.
Yeah. Smile and wave.
Pretty much. Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Alright. We get back to Charlie's house. She closes the garage. Something falls off of the car.
I couldn't figure out what that was.
Neither could I. I watched the trailer a couple of times just to figure out what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say it looks like a dick.
It looks like a dick.
It looks like a dick.
I thought that so many times. Like, I watched the trailer and I was like, that looks like a dick. Maybe it'll be clearer in the film. It happened in the film. I was sitting there, I was staring at it on the big screen, the 4K, the meters wide. I was like, that's just a big alien dick.
It's a big old alien schlong. So she investigates, and she finds a face underneath the car.
She crawls under a car and finds a face.
And then the face lights up, it transforms, and boom, we have Bumblebee again.
Bumblebee, who got so fucked up in that fight that he A, got his vocal cords ripped out, and B, somehow got his memory erased. But then his memory comes back later on in the film. So I guess it's more like he got his memory corrupted. It's no worse than that time Optimus Prime was evil, and then he heard Bumblebee's voice, he's like, oh, I'm not evil anymore.
Like, oh, I've come to kill you. Oh, but I'm your friend. Oh, you're right, sorry.
He's like, oh, Bumblebee, I haven't heard your voice in a long time. And it's like, you literally heard him speak at the end of the first film. That was like 4 years ago. I know 4 years is a long time to not talk to someone, but like, that wouldn't snap you out of being evil.
Maybe Transformers just have horrible memory in general.
Oh, the people writing these films certainly fucking do.
Continuity. Non-existent.
So many F-bombs to censor out of this.
I said one. Alright. Bumblebee's scared as shit of this human.
Oh yeah, fair enough. He's had his memory blasted to shit. He doesn't know what planet he's on.
And she's like, it's okay, I won't hurt you. My name's Charlie. I'm 18 today. And she establishes that he sounds like a bumblebee. And here we have the origin for his name. Is this a problem for you?
I haven't seen the Han Solo film, but from what I've heard about it, it's basically, we need an origin story. What do we know about Han Solo? He wears a jacket, he has a gun. So let's write about how he gets his jacket and his gun.
Don't forget the dice.
Oh, and his spaceship, and his friend Chewie. And then that's what they did with this. They're like, what do we know about Bumblebee?
His name's Bumblebee.
His name's Bumblebee,
and
he can't talk. So let's make both those things happen in this film. Before that, he was just called B-127.
Yeah.
But every other Transformer had a name. So I felt bad for little Bumblebee.
Even Cliffjumper, who was on a moon somewhere.
Yeah.
No one knew who he was. He had a name.
And just to really hit home that Bumblebee's name is Bumblebee, when Charlie first comes across him, he's got a bloody beehive in his wheel arch. Which I don't think she ever cleaned out.
No, it's probably still just stuck under his hood somewhere.
Yeah, those poor bees must be terrified every time he transforms.
And he does a lot of action, so they're just being constantly bounced around. Alright. So, next significant event.
My Bachelor's of Art in Film Studies has not prepared me for recalling the plot of films.
What are you doing, Craig?
I ask myself that on a daily basis.
Right, well, actually, yes, Cliffjumper. He actually brings up the next significant event. They're on the moon, interrogating him.
They're on Saturn's moon? Jupiter's moon.
Yes.
The one that's got rings. The one God liked so much he put a ring on it.
Just like Beyonce foretold.
I'm going to message Mona and ask her which planet has the moon, the rings on it.
Alright, I'll continue the recap. Bumblebee, upon reactivation from Charlie's repairs, accidentally sends out a what?
Look, this 18-year-old girl's genius. She can fix any car, but she cannot fix an alien robot in a garage by herself.
I mean, he wasn't completely broken, his brain was just fucked.
Can you perform heart surgery in a garage?
I mean, I can certainly try, but the results would be messy.
You couldn't do it on a person, let alone an alien.
I'll do it on a cat then. Anyway, the signal, it reaches Saturn's moon. We'll say it's Saturn's moon for the moment. And the Decepticons shatter and dropkick. They're like, alright, we know where your friend is. And they cut Cliffjumper in half. Spoilers. And then we cut back to Earth. She's busy repairing Bumblebee. And then we get to his next piece of origin, his radio talk.
Oh, yep, cool.
Which a lot of people were sick of back in 2007.
They used it a lot more sparingly in this film.
They did.
Bumblebee actually had a voice at the beginning of this film.
Yes.
That was cool.
He was voiced by the main male lead from Maze Runner.
Kid from Maze Runner, who, look, I hated that film. But he did a good job of voicing Bumblebee.
I thought it was a nice fitting voice. Far better than the voice that they had
In the cartoon?
in The Last Night. The cartoon one's fine. Yeah, we get the origin for his radio talk, and then we get Sector 7.
Don't forget all the memes.
The memes.
They play the Rick Astley.
Pardon me, yes, how could I forget? He listens to Rick Astley for approximately 1 second.
Before almost blowing out Charlie's brains with a cassette tape.
Yep. And they played Take On Me, my favourite song from that era.
It's a damn good song. I rag on this film a lot. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I'm just putting that out. This is a good film.
This is a quality film.
If you haven't seen it, see it. If you hated the Transformers films, maybe still see it anyway. I'm going to complain about it regardless. Like, there are only 3 films in all of history that I can think of that I think deserve a perfect 10 out of 10. Those films are Jurassic Park,
Okay,
Jaws,
fair enough.
and Tim Allen's The Santa Claus.
I'm not going to question that last one. Carry on.
Despite the fact that all 3 of those films are flawless, I will still complain about all of them. So don't let my complaints put you off seeing this film.
We done with the Tim Allen?
I'm never done with Tim Allen.
Alright, well I am, so we'll move on.
Dun, 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 dun.
Back to Transformers.
Yes.
Sector 7, they receive a message from the Decepticons saying that they want to meet in the desert. So they do. And
John Cena acts his little heart out.
he does indeed.
That's when the Decepticons are like, there's a fugitive on our planet. Actually, no, they can do. They drive up as cars.
Mm-hmm.
They transform into robots, and as they're walking towards the humans, they're like, "Hey, I've got a plan. Just follow my lead. I'm gonna do this." And then it's like, there's a fugitive from our planet, a criminal, and we're here to protect you. And the other guy's like, "What are you doing?" And okay, I'll play along. It's like, you don't f***ing whisper. You're standing right in front of them. You are the most advanced technology this planet's ever seen. You can't just send her an email silently. You didn't discuss this before meeting with an alien race's armed forces and government.
Mm-hmm. And then we get the introduction of the annoying scientist character, which somehow a Michael Bayism has carried over to this film.
I was expecting him to originally be like the evil scientist.
Mm.
And then as the film went on, he'd see the error of his ways, and like he'd save the day. Like he'd be like, "Bumblebee, I'll free you from these lab experiments we're doing on you because I have a heart now." But instead, he just gets murdered.
Yeah, straight up blasted.
This film kills a lot of humans. Like a lot of humans die in the other Transformers films, but this one, they do it more graphically. One of the Transformers is just like openly, "I want to kill the humans." He even says that in front of some humans.
The first thing he does when he lands on this planet is kills a human.
He just like pulls out his gun and turns them into silver slime. And also, thank you for reminding me of that. The way these 2 Decepticons get their Earth vehicles is they crash land next to a hillbilly trailer park in the middle of this one redneck couple having an argument. The wife's all, I'm getting a divorce. That money was for a down payment on a house and you just went out and bought yourself a car. And he's like, "But honey, what the f*** is that?" And they see the meteor come down. They're like, "Oh God, it's coming right for us." And redneck guy's like, "No, not my car."
The first one misses. It hits a truck and then a silo. Oh, you better.
My battery's running low.
I will fix this. Carry on.
I could have sworn I plugged it in. Yeah, the first meteor misses, and he's like, "Thank God my car's okay." But then the second one hits and completely f***ing destroys his car. But then his car drives out.
Did that fix it?
Yeah, it seems to have.
Wonderful.
Hasn't fixed the quality of the podcast, but
That's
the battery
fine.
will survive. What I question though is this brand new sports car he's bought. It's like a Dodge Charger,
Is it a Dodge? I'm pretty sure it's Plymouth.
some muscle car, but it's been heavily modified to go off-roading. Who the fuck? Like, I'm gonna buy a top of the line 1970s sport muscle car, and then just put some big chunky off-roading tires and a roll cage on it because monster truck.
Monster trucks were the big thing.
If you want a monster truck, buy a monster truck. Do not go out and buy a Dodge Charger.
But that's expensive.
And the weird part is the other Decepticon also just comes across a f***ing off-road modified. Oh god, I'm throwing up in my own mouth over here.
Come on, spit it out.
He was bad choice of words. The other Decepticon also comes across a bloody muscle car that's been modified to be a monster truck. What redneck f***ing neck of the woods is this?
America.
America. This podcast brought to you by America.
This podcast is not endorsed by America or President Donald Trump.
So yes, that happens.
Right.
Next scene.
We've gotten past the initial deal made between Decepticons and humans. They will help track down B-127.
Yep.
In a return for the internet, basically.
I don't think that the Decepticons ever actually promised the humans anything.
They were just
They're
like,
just
we'll
like,
get this fugitive
help
from
us
our
track
planet.
down this person, and in exchange,
There won't be a war.
and no, they're like, and in exchange, and they just sort of stop talking.
Yeah. Right. Next scene after that.
Well, it turns out that the government doesn't trust them. They're just like, look, we'll side with them because they're giant alien robots. So if we say no to them, if they really want to, they can just take it anyway. But then, once they've given us the weapon to hunt down one of them, we can use that to hunt down all of them. And you've got my permission to kill them all.
We,
Fair plan.
yeah.
I see no flaws in this.
Mm-hmm. And then, midway through, we get back to Charlie, and it is established that she used to dive before her father passed away. She has since stopped doing so. She is driving around with her new buddy.
You say buddy. Like, he's a borderline stalker. That's the other thing they carry over from the Michael Bay films.
Mm-hmm.
Just this annoying side character. He's constantly trying to psych himself up to go and talk to Charlie. He's like, hey, I don't believe we've ever met. And she's like, no, sorry, I gotta go bye. That happens, like, 3 times throughout the film.
He gets curved so hard.
And this guy's still going for it. And I'm not sure whether to congratulate his, like, resolve to keep going for it, or to be like, dude, take a hint
Yeah.
before you get done for, like, harassment.
I mean, he had more nuance than Sam with Michaela, so you gotta give him props for that.
But then she, like, takes off her shirt halfway through the film. And, hey, take off your shirt and I'll blindfold myself while we go for a drive.
Anywho, it was established she was diving before her dad died. She's since stopped doing so.
Her dad died and she was too sad to dive anymore.
Yep. And on this particular drive, where she blindfolds herself with this man's shirt, they come across a party on a cliffside next to the ocean. And one of the big Chad guys, he's like, oh, I'm gonna jump off this cliff into the ocean. Who's gonna join me?
These high schoolers, all
dicks.
of Charlie's classmates,
Big dicks.
seem like they were actors out of the first Transformers films. Like, Charlie and the guy who's borderline harassing her both look like, you know, high school age kids. But then they get to this party, and it's a bunch of, like, 20-something-year-old high school students.
And then there's that one bitch, Tiffany, or Tina.
I hate Tiffany. She's, like, throwing all this shade, like, your car looks ugly, you should get your dad to buy you a new one. Oops, sorry, I forgot your dad's dead. Awkward. And then, like, her 2 ugly friends are like, oh, you're so dumb and ugly. Like, those in glass houses.
Yeah. So she's getting real traumatized by this because the Chad jumped off. She couldn't following this comment.
I'm glad she didn't jump off. Like, there was rocks down there.
Yeah.
She could have died.
And she's
What is this, Twilight 2?
the best friend whose name...
Maybe if she jumped off the cliff, she would have got to see her dad again.
Jesus Christ, Craig.
Go read Twilight. Official recommendation of Too Ugly for It.
After this, they decide, hey, Tina was a dick. Let's get revenge on her.
Yes.
So they drive to Tina's house with toilet paper and eggs, and we get probably one of the best comedic moments in any Transformers film.
They... Well, the thing is, like, What's her friend's name? What's Charlie's friend's name?
I'm struggling to remember.
Can we call him Chad?
No, because he's not a Chad.
Is he a Boswick?
We'll call him a Boswick. I'll Google the name.
So Boswick's like, come on, Charlie, we'll get revenge. She's like, I don't want revenge. But then Bumblebee's like, nah, let's get revenge. What sort of message are they trying to send out with this film? Like, hey, if you don't want revenge, let your friends peer pressure you into getting revenge. This isn't what Optimus Prime would want.
Are you sure? He cuts off people's faces for a living.
Not in this film. So yeah, they decide they're going to teach Bumblebee how to egg someone's house.
And TP it.
And the minute they hand Bumblebee toilet paper, I'm expecting him to lob it at this house with such force that it goes through the wall. Which they didn't, luckily. But then they're like, now let's throw eggs at her car. Bumblebee picks up all the eggs in his hands, just splats them together and just starts massaging it into her car. And then they're like, oh, go you Bumblebee, that's so funny, and they start jumping up and down. Bumblebee gets excited like a puppy, starts jumping up and down, but then jumps on her car and just utterly destroys it.
Obliterates it.
and they're like, oh no, oh we gotta get out of here. It's like, no, you've gone from a harmless bit of like revenge prank
To property damage.
straight up felony.
So they run away in Bumblebee. Tina comes out, sees the mess that her car is now in, screams, Mom!
That's the last time we see Tiffany in this film.
Tina. Either or.
Did you find out what Charlie's mate's name was?
I got as far as the cast page, but it wouldn't click.
Cool.
I can tell you that the actor's name is Dylan O'Brien.
From now on, he's Dylan. Hello? Yeah, what do you want?
Just to say g'day.
Ah.
What do you got organised in here?
We're recording a podcast.
Oh, sorry.
Special guest.
It's podcast here.
Yeah, we thought so. Cheers, Dad. $10 because I'm not going to edit that out.
I'll take that bet.
Wait, did we just agree?
I think so.
Alright, $5 each, I guess.
Alright, back to it. They're running from the house. They pass by a cop car, who I was really hoping to be Barricade.
Yeah, because they hyped it up. They put a barricade in promotional material.
Yeah, they even said Jess Harnell, the voice actor for Barricade, he confirmed that there would be a scene, which there was not.
Yeah.
So either they did do a scene and they decided, nah, let's cut it out.
I wondered if, like, Dropkick was supposed to be Barricade from the beginning, and they were going to elaborate on Barricade and Bumblebee's rivalry a bit more. You know?
I mean, there's all this confusion about whether this film is a reboot or not, so maybe they were...
It's not clear.
It's not clear at all.
Like, with a lot of mental gymnastics, you can make this film fit within the original franchise, but it's so much easier to say, no, this is a reboot.
Yeah. Even though there's the scene at the end, which we will get to.
Yes, we'll get to it. But back to the felony.
Back.
So they've gone from egging someone's house to destroying her car to now outrunning police. Bumblebee then destroys a police cruiser and goes on high-speed pursuit, endangering a lot of lives.
Indeed.
There's that one part where Bumblebee's like grinding the safety rail just to avoid the police.
Good times. They get back to Charlie's house next day. Bumblebee is going to be being looked for by the police. There's a yellow Volkswagen on the loose driving itself around.
Yep.
He can't be seen. Charlie decides, hey, stay here.
I'll just put a blanket over it. No one will look for a yellow Volkswagen with my license plates if it's in my shed with a blanket over it.
Yeah. She goes off to work, does unimportant things.
It's funny that this is the first time in the film that she's had to go to work. You
Second
notice that?
time.
She buys she goes to work, she buys Bumblebee, and then she doesn't seem to work for a month.
Maybe she's just on really shitty hours, and that's why she can't afford to buy herself a proper car.
True. So yeah, she goes to work and leaves Bumblebee at home, and then the film basically becomes E.T.
Yeah.
Bumblebee wanders around the house. He's like, how do TVs work? How does a coffee machine work?
Oh, a plug in the wall. I should stick my big metal finger in it.
And then somehow Bumblebee fingering a power socket sends out a signal, so all of a sudden the Decepticons are able to track him, which they weren't able to do before.
Sector 7 tracks him down, he gets captured, and he gets taken to the nearest Air Force base, where he is then interrogated by the Decepticons.
They tie him to the roof, and they just start wailing on him.
And he's like, talk, damn it, but he can't talk.
And the evil scientist from before is just like watching them wail on this prisoner. He's like, maybe these alien robots calling themselves the Decepticons aren't the good guys.
I mean, John Cena had it pinned from the start. They're called Decepticons. There can't be anything good about that.
But the thing is, like, they're even like, tell us where Optimus Prime is so we can squash out your rebellion and then destroy all your kind. And the scientist is just like sitting there rubbing his chin like, maybe they're
Just
not
stroking his
the
non-existent
good
beard.
guys.
So, Charlie decides, I'm going to go rescue Bumblebee. I don't care what my parents say, he's my friend. She sneaks into the Air Force base.
How does a 18-year-old girl sneak onto an Air Force base?
Well, they didn't have the electric fences on.
That's right. There's a big sign that says warning electric fence, and she just cuts through it. And Daniel, or is it Dylan?
Dylan O'Brien.
Her mate, whose name keeps changing, is like, how do you know the fence wasn't electrocuted? And she's like, I didn't.
It was a hit or miss.
It's so dumb. Like, you could have just died.
I mean, previously when Bumblebee actually did get captured, she did touch him while he was being electrocuted and passed out.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I've done it once, I can do it again.
So the Decepticons finish interrogating Bumblebee, and they're like, cool, now that we know everything we need to know, which is nothing, because Bumblebee tells them nothing.
Yeah.
So that
No. He does tell them something, but not directly.
That's right.
They smash him around.
Bumblebee's got a recording in his chest for some reason of the last conversation he had with Optimus Prime, which detailed all their plans for the war.
Yeah.
And if you just hit Bumblebee in the right way, he shoots out a hologram and replays the message, and he seems unable to turn it off.
He can't control this.
It would be like if you got punched in the stomach and you're just like, yeah, sorry, I have a boner now. This just happens. I can't make it go away. We just have to wait.
I'd give it about an hour. I took a lot of caffeine. But the blood's just rushing, you know.
So they're like, well, we've got what we need from you now, Bumblebee. We'll kill you. So they just shoot him point blank range in the head.
Not in the head, more in the chest, but carry on.
Well, he doesn't seem to have any damage on him afterwards. He's just lying on the ground. So Carly Rae Jepsen's like, I'll just tase
It's Haley Steinfeld.
It's Carly Rae fucking Jepsen.
I will hit you.
She's like, I'm just going to taser Bumblebee back to life. Which works. Good to know.
Just like the song at the end said, 'cause I'm bringing you back to life.
Pro tip, if someone's been shot point blank range, you can just revive them using the electric paddles. I forget what they're called. The zappy things. The ones that
Defibrillators?
look... Defibrillators. The ones that look like irons. They kind of make a similar noise if you pushed an iron onto human flesh. That's the ASMR element for this week's podcast.
Welcome to my ASMR podcast.
Today we're going to be exploring the sound it makes when you open a bag of potato chips.
Rightio. So, Bumblebee is revived.
Bumblebee's been dead for all of 5 seconds and he's revived, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Don't... Like, people complain that death is not permanent in comic books and movies, and then you kill off your main character for 5 seconds. Just don't bother killing him off.
Oh, but this film, I'll get to this bit later, but it may have the most brutal death scene for any Transformer I've ever seen. Maybe not most brutal, but definitely most creative.
It doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense.
Not really.
It really brings into question the structural integrity of Transformers.
Which was already in question after the first film.
Forget the first one. What about, like, the last night where Bumblebee just falls apart all the time? But it's fine, because now all of a sudden, Bumblebee's got this miracle power to just heal from any wound.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Bumblebee is Jesus' bot.
Revived. Sector 7 comes after him. He goes...
That's right. They start harpooning Bumblebee.
He goes Iron Giant on these fuckers.
He does. Like, at first, they harpoon him and they're dragging him away, and Bumblebee is helpless. And then they see John Cena punch Carly Rae Jepsen.
Haley Steinfeld.
And Bumblebee goes full on berserk mode. Like, his eyes go from big and blue to small and red. And I shat myself.
Bumblebee was mildly terrifying in this film, and that is a first.
The last time I had a reaction to a film that was just such a strong sense of, ah, shit, here it comes, was in Justice League, when the Flash is running around the evil Superman, and then you just see Superman's eyes move to watch him.
That was the one redeeming factor about that film.
That and Ben Affleck's workout routine.
True.
More like Ben Aff ripped. Moving on!
Good on ya!
So, Bumblebee... I am sick of seeing these alien robots who have proven that they can take down an entire military base single-handedly, get their ass handed to them by a handful of humans with guns.
But these ones had harpoons. The other ones didn't have harpoons.
So it was so cathartic for me watching Bumblebee lay waste to all these little soldiers. He backhands John Cena across the room.
Grows a cannon out of his arm, not like he normally would, like his wrist just opens up and a gun just...
Like, he doesn't start shooting near soldiers, he just straight up obliterates people with his cannon. And Haley Steinfeld's just like, oh, Bumblebee, you saved me. Like, Bumblebee committed multiple homicides.
These people are dead now. They had families.
Yeah, well, look, in all fairness, they deserved it. They had no evidence Bumblebee was evil.
They were just following orders.
Well, if you blindly follow orders, you're basically a communist.
We do not condone communism in this show.
I haven't ruled it out.
What?
A little bit of communism here and there.
Rightio.
Not the religious side. What's communism without religion? Is it fascism?
Yes.
I didn't do a political degree. If I did, I wouldn't have a podcast.
Your girlfriend did.
Yeah. Moving right along!
So after this episode...
After Bumblebee goes all SVU on multiple Marines... Can you just imagine the sequel to this film where it's just a bunch of, like, veterans with missing legs and third-degree burns?
What if they do it in, like, a documentary-style film? It's like, I remember back in 1987.
The last time I got out of bed on my own legs.
I woke up this morning. I went to work. And my boss said, there's an alien robot. We gotta shoot it. And then I lost my legs. My friend, he lost his life.
My legs were coming from this way. They were speeding. Bumblebee is coming from this way.
Alright, we need to put it back on track because I gotta go to bed soon. Alright, so we have this episode. Bumblebee, he goes with Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
And they intercept the Decepticons who are trying to send a communication to Cybertron.
The whole Decepticons' evil plan is just, we're going to hijack a telephone pole and we're going to hook up all of Earth's satellites to it.
And we're going to send a message to Cybertron.
Yep.
Bring all the Decepticon army here.
Mm-hmm.
Obliterate the planet.
Yep. And in Optimus Prime's own words, if the Decepticons come to this planet, all hope is lost.
Mm-hmm.
Which is funny considering the Decepticons come to this planet in the next film. And it's been saved like 5 times now.
I mean, saved being a relative term, because in the 5th one, maybe it's Unicron.
How did they not know about that?
It's like,
Optimus Prime's like, I found this hidden planet called Earth.
maybe there's
It's
a
like-
reason it's hidden, Prime.
Can't be that well hidden if it's a giant robot. How are you not tracking this giant planet-sized robot?
Carrying on.
That's cool. Imagine if Jesus was like the size of a planet and we're just like, oh, we don't know where he went. He just... What?
Isn't that just God?
So you're saying Jupiter should be looked into further?
Yes.
We might dig under Jupiter and be like, well, fuck me.
Why do you think Saturn has rings? It's a cage.
He's literally circled where he is.
X marks the spot, dickheads.
Come find me when you need religion.
So they intercept the Decepticons. They have probably one of the better fight scenes within the franchise.
I feel like the opening scene of this film is probably one of the best fight scenes of all the Transformers films.
I would agree with that.
That and the forest battle from the second film.
I mean, say what you want about the second film, but that forest scene is yet to be topped.
That is the best fight scene of all movie history. Come at me. My email address is at jeffreyclues@gmail.com.
Wait a minute. You're not Craig Hutchison? No.
We all know I'm not Jeff. I'm not nearly short enough.
Ouch.
Come at me, Jeff.
The challenge has been issued. So they have a really good fight scene.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie decides she wants to help. She climbs up a crane to the tower, and she's trying to disable this alien technology.
She goes all Die Hard on it. She's going to jump from a crane to a tower and do some technical stuff while people are shooting all around her.
So whilst this is happening, Bumblebee is fighting with Dropkick. He turns into a helicopter, starts shooting Bumblebee. Bumblebee takes a ship anchor, throws it at his rotors,
And lassos him out of the sky.
he tries to transform back into a robot, but now he's got chains stuck all throughout his body.
Yeah.
And he's like, you think these small chains can hold me? Yank! He gets ripped apart.
What the fuck's going on there? That just like human chains can just decapitate these robots all of a sudden.
I mean, Bumblebee was struggling to pound down on him, Dropkick, but a simple chain. A chain made by primitive human beings can tear through this, I assume, nearly indestructible metal.
Like, chains have been around for how many hundreds of years? Every time the government gets into fight with Transformers, they're like, machine guns! Like, nah, fuck, just go get a chain.
Just drop a nuke on them.
Go to your nearest tow truck. That is the deadliest weapon you have.
Actually, they did that in the fourth film.
In the first film. Okay, cool. There's a conspiracy here that forklifts are humanity's salvation.
Tow trucks, the best Transformer killing weapon?
Today's episode was brought to you by Ford. No one does tow trucks like Ford. Ford.
Delicious.
It's finger-licking good.
Right, so Dropkick's dead.
Yep.
One Decepticon to go.
Hey, let's just point out, Shatter, female Transformer.
Yeah, voiced by Angela Bassett of all people.
No idea who that is.
She was a leading role in Black Panther.
This female Transformer has more lines in like her first scene.
Then Megatron in all the films.
I gotta say than every other female Transformer in this franchise combined. But yeah, also than Megatron. Because once again, these characters are fleshed out characters and not just pretty things to look at that go boom.
I mean, Shatter is pretty. I'm not saying I'm into fembots, but goddamn.
This Fembot's from Austin Powers, though.
Machine
gun
nipples.
jobblies. Oh,
Oh,
thought
we're
we were in
close.
sync.
That was a shame.
I'm devastated.
They have a big fight between Bumblebee and Shatter.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually,
Bumblebee goes full kamikaze on it.
Bumblebee's on the ground. He's been beat up real bad. Shatter's about to stab him.
She's got her arms raised in the air. She decides to have stop for some monologue.
Bumblebee shoots a dam behind her. She's like, "Ha! You missed."
Without going cliche here, she then goes for the whole, "Oh, you missed me," and then Bumblebee's like, "I wasn't aiming for you."
Bumblebee holds down Shatter. The dam starts rushing.
How the hell he holds her down when she's on top of him with a knife?
I don't know, man. The dam's rushing towards him. He's like, "You'll kill us both."
Apparently there's like a fucking container ship on the other side of this dam.
Yeah.
And Bumblebee's like, "I don't care. I'll kill us both."
So the ship slams into both of them.
And
Shatter
then slams into another wall.
Yeah, it slams into the dock. Shatter gets obliterated.
Shatter goes up in a mushroom cloud.
Shatter gets shattered.
Oh my god.
Is that why her name is
Bullshit.
Shatter?
Is that why Dropkick got drop-kicked by that chat?
What?
So anyway, the Shatter gets exploded.
Somehow Bumblebee avoids the shattering and is
Bumblebee
underneath
got
the ship.
pinned between a shipping ship. A shipping ship?
A
cargo ship.
A shipping ship that's shipping ships.
And a wall. And an exploding robot. Just goes under the water.
Yeah, he's fine.
It's fine, once again. Bumblebee's immortal.
And then
This film's basically Passion of the Christ, but with robots.
Haley Steinfeld's character Charlie, she sees this like, oh no, Bumblebee. She realizes she needs to dive.
That's the second major cliche in this scene alone. Where it's just like, we're going to set up a character's skill right at the beginning of the film. We're not going to touch it for the whole film, and then at the end of the film, it's going to save the day.
Mm-hmm.
because she dives into the water, she touches Bumblebee's face, he's like, oh yeah, I'm immortal.
Which he probably is.
I mean, look, we know her back can be ripped and he can be decapitated and just walk it off.
Yeah.
Bumblebee is the most frightening transformer.
So he swims up. They've saved the day. John Cena's character's like, look, my friends are coming. Thanks for saving me earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Forgot to mention that bit. They reconcile. He's like, get out of here. I'll hold them off. Whatever.
Then Dylan, or Daniel,
Dylan O'Brien.
rocks up. He's like, hey,
I'm here too.
I'm still around. And John Cena's like, the day's been saved. He's like, okay, cool. Can you call my mum? Call it with what? It's the 80s. He doesn't have a phone on him.
Alright, so we're in the final scenes now. And they're overlooking the San Francisco Bridge.
No, you forgot. Charlie goes home. Sees her parents.
Now this was after the fact.
Is it?
Yeah.
Who cares? Oh.
Overlooking the San Francisco Bridge, Charlie says to Bumblebee, look, we've both got people that need us. You need to go to your people, I need to go to mine.
It makes no sense. She doesn't know the other Transformers are coming. She doesn't know that Bumblebee has a way to contact them. I'm not sure Bumblebee knows he has a way to contact them.
I mean, she got the general gist in the forest when she accidentally popped up the hologram of Optimus Prime saying, hey.
Because at some stage during these fights, Bumblebee got punched hard enough that his memories have all come back now.
He's suffering amnesia. Just like in that other Transformers show.
And so then she's just like... Remember that episode of SpongeBob where he gets a seahorse? At the end of the episode, he's just like, get out of here, you stupid dumb animal. That's effectively how this film ends.
Pretty much. And then we get the product placement.
Oh my god, like, it makes no sense.
Because
No matter how much thought you put into it. Like, Bumblebee gets rid of his Volkswagen Beetle, alt mode.
he's looking down on the bridge. I need a new car.
He becomes the classic Camaro we see in the first Transformers film. And then Carly Rae Jepsen's like,
Haley Steinfeld.
you could have been a Camaro this whole time?
He's like, yep, see you later.
So then he f***s off down to the bridge, where all of a sudden he runs into a truck that is identical for Optimus Prime.
I'm pretty sure that truck is Optimus Prime.
And I'm just like, I would say it's not a coincidence, but Blitzwing looked like exactly Starscream, but it wasn't Starscream. So I'm sure that this truck that looks exactly like Optimus Prime is just here for fan service. But then Bumblebee's not the Volkswagen anymore, so you don't get the two classic vehicles side by side. And then at the end of the film, there's just f***ing Optimus Prime and Bumblebee in the woods.
Just walking around.
And Optimus Prime's like, hey, you did it, Bumblebee, you saved the planet. Oh, look, here comes the rest of the Transformers.
No, it's like, good job, B-127. Actually, my name's Bumblebee. And then
Charlie Rae Jepsen
Charlie.
goes home. She meets her family. She's like, I couldn't have saved the day without you. Which she literally couldn't, because her stepdad goes all psychopath. And like, what's the word? Obstructs justice.
Yep.
By swerving in front of like government cars trying to arrest her. She's like, oh, thanks, quirky Kung Fu brother, for lying to our parents, who easily could have checked my room at any time to see I hadn't snuck it out like I'm known to do.
Yep. And then the film ends with her driving away in the Corvette that she's fixed.
Don't forget her boyfriend, or stalker, we haven't decided yet.
Tries to hold her hand, she's like, nope, we're not there yet.
Yeah, she literally says that to her, and then they laugh it off, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna kiss. And then they just don't.
No, that's where it ends. That's the end of Charlie's story.
This film ends on the cliffhanger of, she may have a stalker.
What's gonna happen in 20 years?
So yeah, I'm looking forward to the sequel. Fantastic film. Not a 10 out of 10, because as we know, only 3 films are.
And one of them has Tim Allen. Bless his soul.
God bless you, Tim Allen. Any final thoughts, Lee?
I'm hopeful for the next films, if
Yep.
they're still directed by Travis Knight.
I feel like this film went well enough that they are going to cancel the decision to cancel this franchise, and they're just going to use this film as a leaping off point for a reboot.
Yeah. Like, the next Transformers film, it could be Transformers 6, it could be rebooted again.
I hope to God it's not Transformers 6. I don't want to hear about our planet being a giant robot Jesus.
He's not even Jesus, mate. I was shocked, just as a final thought, to see Michael Bay's name credited. Because I thought he wasn't involved in this production at all.
No, apparently he was a producer, and this film was also made by Bay Studios.
And Allspark Pictures, creative name.
I thought I misread that, but it did say Allspark Pictures.
Yeah, Hasbro funded their own studio.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Steven Spielberg's still on board.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was expected, though.
And, yeah.
Overall, I would say this is probably my new favourite Transformers film. I say that about every film after it comes out, but
Really? You said that about the last night?
I was overhyped at the time.
Christ, you were. Alright.
But this one, definitively, it is my favourite because the characters were solid.
Yep.
The overall aesthetic of the film has improved drastically.
10 times.
Yeah, not just because of the redesigns into the more classic designs that everyone's familiar with.
But you can just tell that there is a love and respect there for the source material.
Absolutely, this is a passion project. Travis Knight.
Not like...
Not like what?
No, that sentence was just going to be weird and dark.
Alright. We'll end it on that note then.
Alright, Lee. You familiar with how I sign out on this show?
I mean...
You've heard enough people fuck it up to know how it goes?
Look, just give me a basic rundown real quick. I can't remember the end of your last podcast.
I always say, this has been this, I've been me, you say you've been you, and then we say the final word. You know what the word is, come on, I don't need to prompt you for this.
Bingo!
And it's peace. It's been peace.
Alrighty, alright.
You listen to all my shows, how do you not know this?
I have very short attention span. Alright,
If you have any, look, like and subscribe. For the love of God, smash that like button.
share with your friends.
Share it with your grandparents. Let them get in on this. You know what? Here's a challenge for you. See if you can use your forehead to hit the like and subscribe button.
Do we have a letter of the day today?
We should, but I'm lazy. So, not today.
Alright. This is a special episode, letterless.
I've been Craig.
I've been Lee.
And you've been listening to Too Ugly for Radio. Get off my lawn.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I changed it.
Alright.
No one was getting it right anyway, and you know what? I was never comfortable with yelling peace. Peace was just... It was a placeholder. So now I'm going to end every episode by telling people to get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn.
Alright, bye.
See you later, folks. I said, see you later, folks. In the podcast.
It never ends.